Hello, I'm Pradakshina Krishnan, and I will be presenting my Python project, in which I will be computing the quarterly cost of goods sold for Travel on Bikes, a distributor of bikes and motor vehicles. To do this, I first started by importing the CSV module into Python, and then initializing the value of 20 variables to 0. Each of these variables represents the cost of goods sold per country per quarter. Then, using a with open module, I open the product data CSV file in a read-only mode before using a for loop to go through each row of the file and extract data for the two variables that I defined, namely month and country. I used a dot replace extension for the month variable to remove spaces or white spaces from the month name. Next, using a try except block, I excluded a value error and I defined a variable to hold the cost of goods sold value after converting the data type from string to float. Then, making use of if loops, I first checked whether the transaction was carried out in January, February, or March, which are the quarter one variables. And if this condition was met, the loop checked the country where the transaction was carried out before adding the cost of goods sold value to that country's quarter one variable. The same logic has been used for quarter 2, 3, and 4 as well. Now that the final data has been computed, I made use of a dot join extension and print statements to create a table to display the final output. This is how the output looks on my spider. I have also included a summary of the data at the bottom of the table. Now, the next part of my project was to propose an alternative analysis that the marketing director could make use of. I personally believe that it is important to know the percentage of sales coming from the different market segments. So that is the analysis that I am proposing as well. To start the code for the same, I followed a similar logic as the costing analysis. The only major difference is that there is no embedded if loop, and the code directly checks the segment of the transaction and adds the sales to that segment's variable that I defined in the beginning here. After the code exits the loop, it calculates the total sales before dividing the two and finding the percentage of sales coming from the different segments. Again, in order to display the output, I have made use of print statements to create a table. This is how the table looks on my spider. After having completed this project, I have developed immense respect towards the coders for their patience and perseverance. I also became more curious about how programming can be used for decision makings in a both business and non-business context. Since this is my first time trying Python, I had a lot of trial and error. However, this caused me to gain confidence in my ability to code using Python. And it also improved my problem solving and creative thinking skills as I had to come up with unique and different ways to circumvent the errors that were popping up in my code. Overall, I enjoyed this presentation and hope you did too. Thank you.